Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Hurricane Milton has now exploded into a Category 5 hurricane, now set to slam into Florida. The state of emergency at this hour. In just 10 hours' time, from 2 a.m. to noon today, Hurricane Milton growing from a Category 1 hurricane to a Category 5. The strongest hurricane in the Gulf in nearly 2 decades now. Authorities expecting major damage in Florida. Mass evacuations now underway along the Florida coast. Tampa Bay among the areas bracing for a severe impact. And this hurricane threatening an historic storm surge up to 15 feet in some areas. Ginger Z standing by. She's live in Florida with the new forecast just in from the National Hurricane Center. Also breaking as we come on tonight amid this tragedy unfolding already from Hurricane Helene. The death toll now at least 230. The National Guard and FEMA on the ground for days now. And tonight they're also now dealing with false claims and conspiracy theories being pushed by former President Trump. Republican Senator Thom Tillis making it clear border issues are not affecting aid in North Carolina. And just moments ago now, Vice President Kamala Harris before the cameras on these false claims, saying Americans in the storm zone are entitled to this help. And the vice president's warning now about this next hurricane now coming. 1 year ago tonight, the Hamas terror attack inside Israel. Tonight, nearly 100 hostages are still being held by Hamas. And the American wife tonight and her message right here, with her husband still being held 1 year later. Back here in the U.S., the emergency landing, passengers terrified on board. With one engine on fire, air traffic control unable to reach the pilots. The FAA investigating tonight. This evening, the American woman rescued, stranded at 20,000 feet for 3 nights. Tonight, the Patriots star arrested and charged. And the tributes pouring in tonight to Grammy winner Cissy Houston, the mother of the late Whitney Houston. Tonight, here we go back, the performance, Whitney Houston and her mother together.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It is great to have you with us here on a Monday night, and we already have just an awful hurricane bearing down again on the U.S. this week, this time Hurricane Milton, which in just a matter of hours today went from a Category 1 hurricane to a Category 5, now barreling toward Florida with 180-mile-an-hour winds tonight. This is the strongest hurricane in the Gulf in nearly 2 decades, and it's headed directly toward Florida, the Tampa Bay area, and much of the Gulf Coast of Florida bracing tonight. Urgent warnings at this hour, mass evacuations. The hurricane spinning over the record warm waters of the Gulf, about 675 miles from Tampa, set to make landfall. You can see the track right there Wednesday night or in the early morning hours of Thursday. The new forecast just in tonight, they're now warning of a potential historic storm surge up to 15 feet. The Tampa area, as I mentioned, in the bullseye, just as they still clear away debris from Helene. They are warning Milton's storm surge could be far worse. In Dade City tonight and in so many other Florida communities, families are racing to protect their homes, preparing for widespread power outages, waiting in long lines already for gas. Tonight, hundreds of thousands are under mandatory evacuations, officials begging them to obey this. Heavy traffic headed inland on I-275. This is over Tampa Bay. Vice President Kamala Harris just moments ago with a warning about this coming hurricane, asking residents to listen to their local authorities and to take this very seriously. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z live in Tampa tonight with the new forecast just in from the National Hurricane Center. And Ginger, it's just stunning how quickly this went from a Category 1 to a Category 5 hurricane today.
Yeah, and David, not only meteorologically is this remarkable out over the ocean, but it's the impacts. And I know you know it's all about how humans will be seeing this. And that's the part that I am unfortunately having jaw-dropping moments. Like 10 to 15 feet of surge around here. That is more than doubling what we saw just 2 weeks ago, which was a record, meaning that people have never seen anything like that, not just here in Tampa Bay, but we'll get to all of it. Let's start with, yes, how fast. 95-mile-per-hour winds increase in 24 hours. Only 2 other hurricanes in history have done that. It's still more than 670 miles to our southwest here from Tampa Bay. It's kind of skirting across the Yucatan there, but it is going to head east and then eventually northeast right here. Why we have a hurricane warning from Cedar Key to Fort Myers, Orlando and Lakeland included, because you're going to have hurricane force gusts, power outages that go right through the center of the state. Let's talk about all of the cone, right? The cone means the center could go anywhere in there, and every little tick, north or south, is going to make huge impacts, because this is a little bit more concentric or tighter than Helene was. And so you're going to have the biggest surge right in that front right quadrant, or the eye wall, which currently goes right over Bradenton, Sarasota, down to Venice. That big push of water, the biggest loss of life and property, the storm surge, 10 to 15 feet. Around here in Tampa Bay, that's Reddington Shores, it's Madeira, it's Clearwater, but all the way down again. Fort Myers in 6 to 10 feet. That is structural damage. You could have homes wash away, cars wash away in that type of surge. You also will have 110+ mile-per-hour winds all the way to Lakeland. So those power outages, trees into homes, all the way over to the Space Coast. Up to Jacksonville, you'll have onshore flow. And finally, David, up to 15 inches of rain with some of those bands that could also produce tornadoes.
We're going to be watching this very closely over the next couple of days. Ginger, I know you're going to have the very latest first thing in the morning on GMA. We'll be watching. Of course, there are mandatory evacuations underway at this hour. Homeowners trying to protect their homes before getting out of the path of this hurricane. Our Victor Oquendo made his way to St. Pete Beach, right there in the evacuation zone on this urgent effort now underway tonight.
Tonight, Hurricane Milton taking aim at Florida. Just 10 days after Helene slammed the state with 140-mile-an-hour winds and record storm surge.
We can't affect the track. We can't control how strong or how weak it gets. The only thing that you can affect is what you do and the decisions you make to protect yourself and your families.
Evacuation orders growing by the hour. Hundreds of thousands told in no certain terms to get out while there's still time.
If they have called for your evacuation order, I beg you, I implore you to evacuate.
Families frantically filling sandbags, shoring up what they can, stocking up and getting out.
I have a 1-year-old as of tomorrow, and my wife's expecting our second child, so we just want to take necessary precautions.
Interstates packed, bumper to bumper. Authorities waiving tolls and opening the shoulders to create more lanes. We're on Interstate 275 in Tampa. This is one of the main evacuation routes from the coast inland. And if you take a look behind me, traffic, it's just crawling by, and it's like this for miles. In Treasure Island,
It's heartbreaking.
we met Mike Harp, helping his mom Linda salvage what they can from her home as crews scramble to clear debris from the streets. Is that a welcome sight right now?
Oh, yes, it's great. All that stuff would be like battering rams against houses and stuff and probably knock holes in them.
Or picked up like projectiles with the wind.
Right.
They, like so many, are evacuating tonight. So far, more than 650 truckloads of debris have been removed. Residents in St. Pete Beach have been bringing their belongings ruined by Helene here. This pile, it has now grown. It is about 20 feet tall, nearly a block long. The county is aware. Crews will continue working to clear everything until tropical storm force winds hit. David, they will need every minute.
Wow, look at that behind you. And Victor, I know you and the team reached out to local authorities just to remind them that that pile does exist, because all of that becomes projectiles and yet another hurricane now bearing down. Victor and the team, our thanks to you as well. And of course, this all comes with the tragedy already unfolding from Hurricane Helene. Tonight, the death toll now at least 230. The National Guard and FEMA on the ground for days now. Tonight, they're now dealing with something else. The false claims and conspiracy theories about FEMA and the federal help being pushed by former President Trump. North Carolina's Republican senator knocking down the false claims, and just moments ago, Vice President Harris before the cameras calling the false claims by the former president irresponsible, saying Americans in the storm zone are entitled to the help. Morgan Norwood from North Carolina tonight.
Tonight, with the death toll from Hurricane Helene now at 230 and massive recovery efforts still underway, federal agencies on the ground facing another obstacle. Conspiracy theories and false claims spreading about the response, amplified for days by former President Trump, who's falsely claiming FEMA disaster relief money is being spent on migrants instead of survivors.
They're getting no help from our federal government because they have no money, because their money's been spent on people that should not be in our country.
But FEMA's disaster relief funds are separate from other Department of Homeland Security programs that support migrant response.
Good afternoon, everyone.
At the White House, a remarkable scene in the middle of an emergency response, having to knock down conspiracies.
This needs to stop. This needs to stop. If you care about your constituents, if you care about the people, if you care about Americans, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't spread these falsehoods. It is dangerous.
The White House debunking multiple claims being spread on social media that FEMA is confiscating property or that survivors will only get $750 in aid.
People who have a microphone and a podium should not continue to spread this falsehood.
FEMA's director warning the false claims could keep aid from getting to the people who need it most.
People that have been impacted are afraid to apply for our assistance. Assistance that then they can get a hotel room. They can get reimbursement for some of the costs or damages to their home.
North Carolina's own Republican Senator Tom Tillis says issues on the border are not affecting the flow of resources into western North Carolina.
On this side of the house was the kitchen.
Stuart Pacio's home was one of the many that floated away in the floodwaters.
It's home. Now it's gone.
Stewart says FEMA has been here and that they paid a visit just today, and says the baseless conspiracies are not helping those who are living through this.
Instead of sitting around playing on your computer, you need to go help the people that need help.
And late today, Vice President Kamala Harris saying what Trump is spreading after Helene is, quote, irresponsible. She also warned Americans to take this next hurricane coming very seriously.
This one is going to be very, very serious. And I urge you to please just grab whatever you need. Listen to the orders you're getting from your local officials. They know what they're telling you, and they know what Milton is about to be. So please do that. The other point I'd make is that there's a lot of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available, in particular to the survivors of Helene. And first of all, it's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA has so many resources that are available to folks who desperately need them. You are entitled to these resources. People are entitled to these resources, and it is critically important that people apply for the help that is there to support.
And David, we have been on the ground for days. FEMA has been here, so has the National Guard. In fact, FEMA is saying assistance for Helene has already topped $210 million. And David, one more thing tonight, a sign of the times, FEMA saying they put up a website called Hurricane Helene Rumor Response. David?
Responding to the rumors tonight, as well as to the tragedy there on the ground. Morgan, thank you. It was 1 year ago, the Hamas terror attack inside Israel. Tonight, people across Israel and right here in the U.S. remembering those who were killed and the nearly 100 hostages who are still being held by Hamas. Tonight here, Matt Gutman with the American wife and her message with her husband still being held 1 year later. Matt from Israel again this evening.
Tonight, 1 year after Hamas's surprise terror attack on Israel, the Israeli military pounding Hamas in Gaza just today, and now expanding the effort to target Hezbollah in Lebanon too, with strikes again today. And across Israel today, people marking the moment Hamas terrorists murdered 1,200 people 1 year ago. At the scene of the Nova Music Festival in southern Israel today, a woman screaming in anguish. They played the last song heard as militants stormed in and opened fire. 380 people killed there. 251 people also kidnapped by Hamas, including 10 Americans. Tonight, nearly 100 hostages still being held, one of them American Keith Siegel. He was kidnapped along with his wife, Aviva. She was released in November, and tonight she tells us the torture of knowing her husband is still being held.
When you think about Keith still being in, likely, a tunnel.
I'm finished. I'm just finished. I'm finished. It's just the worst thing to handle. And I don't know how to handle it anymore. It's become so heavy.
And it was on that dark Saturday last year when Hamas militants went door to door in communities like Kfar Aza. Tonight, it's a ghost town.
You can see the blasted walls, the twisted appliances, the bullet scars everywhere, the scorched ceilings. This is the youth village, or what's left of it, in Kfar Aza. It hasn't changed at all in the past year. So many of these communities along the border with Gaza, just a mile from where we are, remain frozen in October 7th.
In Washington today, Vice President Kamala Harris commemorating this day and acknowledging the immense suffering of innocent people in Gaza.
And on this solemn day, I will restate my pledge to always ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself, and that I will always work to ensure the safety and security of the Jewish people here and around the world.
Former President Trump today also commemorating the day, holding another event this evening. And with no end in sight to the war, more than 41,000 dead in Gaza, According to the Hamas-run health ministry, the IDF telling me today they have 2 goals in mind.
101 hostages home, and the citizens of Israel in the south and the north can live safe.
And David, we're here in Hostage Square tonight, and that general also telling me that the cruelty of Hamas fundamentally changed the way that Israel responds to its enemies, including Iran. And I'm told that Israel is still weighing its response. It's consulting with the U.S., but that there are multiple options still on the table. David.
Matt Gutman, who has spent much of this last year reporting there. Matt, thank you. Back here in the U.S. tonight into the emergency landing in Las Vegas, a Frontier Airlines flight with one engine on fire. The pilots declaring a mid-air emergency, air traffic control unable to reach them. Here's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, this dramatic, fiery landing in Las Vegas prompting investigations from the NTSB and FAA.
They got a fire in the right engine.
This Frontier Airlines jet from San Diego packed with 190 passengers Saturday, pilots declaring a mid-air emergency as they were descending after detecting smoke in the cockpit. The crew unable to contact air traffic control.
His radios are out. They have no communication with the pilot.
The engine in flames at touchdown. Emergency crews rushing in on the runway.
Everyone remain seated.
We just see through the window that we were on fire.
All passengers and crew using the air stairs to deplane. Frontier says no injuries were reported, but several passengers describing their confusion and concern upon landing.
We were just in shock. We're like, you see this on movies and shows, but you don't expect it to happen to you.
David, the airport in Las Vegas described this as a hard landing. Frontier Airlines says they're working to determine the cause. David.
Trevor Ault tonight. Trevor, thanks. Tonight to the issue of abortion rights in this country. Georgia's Supreme Court has now reinstated that state's near ban on abortion. Last week, a Fulton County judge ruled that the law unconstitutionally deprives women control of their own bodies. It bans abortion at about 6 weeks. Tonight, Georgia's Supreme Court reinstating the law pending an ongoing appeal. When we come back, the Patriots star arrested and charged tonight. And remembering Grammy winner Cissy Houston, Whitney Houston's mother. And tonight we go back, their performance together. Tonight, an American hiker among 2 people rescued from a mountain in the Himalayas. American Michelle Dvorak, climbing with Faye Manners from the UK, stranded for 3 days at nearly 20,000 feet. A rock slide cutting their rope, their equipment, food, tents, all falling into a gorge. The Indian Air Force airlifting them to safety. When we come back tonight, the Patriots star arrested and charged tonight, and remembering Cissy Houston and her performance with her daughter, Whitney Houston. To the Index, New England Patriots star Jabrill Peppers pleading not guilty to charges of assault, strangulation, and drug possession. A woman accusing him of hitting her and choking her at her home in Braintree, Massachusetts. Peppers claims he never touched her. We learned today that gospel singer Cissy Houston has died, Whitney Houston's mother.
Just think of all the days of me and you against the world.
Singing Me and You Against the World, Cissy Houston was being treated for Alzheimer's. Whitney Houston had said her mother taught her how to sing. Cissy Houston was 91. When we come back tonight, one incredible moment on the field, 2 rivals, and what they did. You have to see it.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Vivgard Hytrulo and Vivgard.
Finally tonight here, 2 rivals, 1 hope. America strong. It was the remarkable act of solidarity on the field in North Carolina in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. This weekend, rivals North Carolina State and Wake Forest during halftime at this moment. Both of the schools' marching bands taking the field together to perform together the song Amazing Grace. And right here tonight.
Hi, David.
Members of the Wake Forest Marching Band.
It was a day of unity.
One unified sound to honor our friends in the West.
And joining us too, the NC State Marching Band as well.
We just wanted to bring some unity and let us know that when everyone hurts, we all hurt.
I really hope that our performance gave the people of Western North Carolina some glimmer of hope.
Tonight, the NC State and Wake Forest Marching Bands, America Strong. Yeah, we need those moments. I'm David Muir. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.